Is WhatNot a scam? The app featuring fast live-streamed auctions of Pokemon cards and other collectibles has been under fire in recent months as information has come to light about users getting scammed on the platform. For this reason, many people will tell you should just stay away from the app altogether. But as someone who has been buying on WhatNot since close to the beginning, I wanted to share my thoughts with you and whether or not I intend to keep using WhatNot myself. And while we do so, I actually have a backlog of unopened mail from WhatNot, and I thought I'd go ahead and open that up with you while I share my thoughts. Now, there have been multiple stories come out of people scamming on WhatNot, the most notable being Blake's Breaks. And I don't want to rehash the whole thing as there have been plenty of videos made about this already. But a lot of people will tell you that the issue with this situation, and with WhatNot in general, is the problem of gambling on the platform. One of the more popular types of streams on there is known as a box break or rip and ship. This is typically where you buy trading card packs, and instead of you opening them, the streamer rips the pack on the live stream and then mails you the cards afterwards. Now, why would you want to do this? Well, a lot of people really enjoy the community aspect of it. It's fun to hit a big card and have other people get to experience that moment with you and cheer you on. Another reason is sometimes people are willing to even pay more for a pack to have a celebrity or one of their favorite streamers open it for them. Personally, it's not really my cup of tea, but I understand. Now, whether we want to admit it or not, opening packs like Pokemon cards is already sort of a form of gambling. You're rarely going to make your money back from opening packs. I think most people have a strong understanding of this, but it's fun because you're betting on that 1 in 1,000 chance that you get to pull that big card from the set yourself. So gambling is already built into the Pokemon card hobby, so that's not really the issue here. See, what a lot of streamers have done on WhatNot is taken it a step further by sweetening the pot and what they call a bounty. For example, instead of opening packs with the potential to hit a $100 card from the pack, you have that additional opportunity to win maybe a $1,000 card if you win that bounty. So these streamers will do these carnival style games, which is essentially additional games of chance. So you have a game of chance layered on top of a game of chance. And because of this, buyers will often bid the price up significantly, gambling on that off chance of winning big. Higher risk, higher reward. Now, you might be surprised to hear that I personally don't take issue with this. The way I see it, it's gambling to begin with, and changing the odds doesn't change that fact. I personally don't consider gambling to be a very healthy habit, but it in and of itself doesn't make this a scam. Just like at a casino, the average person knows how bad the odds are. They know instinctively that the house always wins. Now, in cases like the recent Blake's Breaks scandal, the issue was not with gambling, but with the fact that they were being dishonest about the actual odds. They were essentially rigging the games so that they controlled who, if anyone, ever actually won the bounties. And in certain cases, when someone actually would win, they wouldn't actually send them out their prize. After all of this, WhatNot finally stepped in and banned this big streamer who was scamming people. And I have to give them credit for that. This streamer was making them a lot of money and was a very high profile individual, so WhatNot could have just continued to turn a blind eye to it, but they didn't. Now, you could argue that maybe they wouldn't have if the Pokemon card community had not held this company accountable, but in the end, they chose to do the right thing in this case, and I think they'll be better for it in the long run, even though it probably is costing them a lot in collateral damage. But WhatNot actually took this a step further and not too long ago decided to prohibit these raffles and these games of chance altogether. Personally, I don't think they even had to do this. To me, if people want to throw their money away, who am I to stop them? However, I have to admit it probably was a smart business move on WhatNot's part to mitigate their risk for more sellers rigging these games in the future. Now, all of this has kind of caused me to ask the question, who is ultimately responsible for the poor decisions made in this buying, selling environment? Is it on the part of the platform to police how people buy and sell? Is it on the sellers to exercise ethical business practices? Or is it on the buyer to make smart and well-informed buying decisions? And honestly, I think the answer is a little bit of all three. I think the buyers should have some agency to decide what they want to do with their money. You or I may not think that they should blow all their money on a guess the energy game, but ultimately, I support their right to use their money the way they want to. But as an added layer on top of that, sellers obviously should not be scamming their customers, and they should also try their best not to be predatory or mislead their buyers. And on the company WhatNot's part, they do have some responsibility to make their platform safe for both buyers and sellers alike. But the thing is, I think sometimes we unfairly put the blame on the part of just the platform. But successful business and trade has to result from trust from all three of these parties. Buyers need to trust the platform to work as it should and trust that the sellers will fulfill their orders. But sellers also need to give trust to the buyers to actually pay them for their goods, and they must trust the platform to fairly facilitate that. And then WhatNot, the company, also needs to trust that users will continue to buy and sell ethically so that they don't go out of business and can actually keep hosting the platform. All of that to say, if WhatNot ever became a place where trust gets completely broken from all sides, then yes, it would be a scam. But you know what would also happen? The platform would cease to exist. That's because people vote with their wallets. And the reality is, while there has been some trust broken, WhatNot is still a thriving platform. To me, that shows that there is still a decent amount of trust there. And that's because, and I can speak from personal experience, there are actually a lot of good people on there. For every one scummy seller on there, you'll find 100 sellers who you can trust. There are even good people on the company side when it comes to their marketing and their customer support. Now, what I do advise you to do as a buyer on the platform is don't blindly trust sellers. Keep an eye out for shady practices on there and make sellers earn your trust before you give them your money. Ultimately, WhatNot is simply a marketplace, just like Amazon or eBay. There are scammers on all of these online platforms, but thankfully they are the minority, and most of these platforms do their best to weed them out. If I had any constructive criticism of WhatNot right now, I would say you probably need to do a better job of this than you've done in the past, or you will eventually lose that trust completely. One practical improvement I'll suggest is you need to do a better job with your rating system. When you have people scamming on there and they still manage to have close to a 5-star rating, that's kind of a problem. To be fair, I get that the job of having to police hundreds of streams a week is likely not an easy one, and at the very best, you need to make it easier for buyers to vet sellers so that scummy sellers don't keep getting away with this. Also, you shouldn't make banning someone from a stream so easy. The problem is these streams become an echo chamber where anyone who calls out a seller on stream simply just gets removed, and that streamer is able to keep on getting over on people unchallenged. So anyway, that's just a little freebie for you WhatNot if you're watching. So I'm not saying that the platform doesn't still have room for improvement. They do. But sometimes I think that just because WhatNot is smaller or newer of a company, that people just want to hold them to a different standard than they do more established companies like Amazon or eBay. Again, these companies have their issues too. But all of this to say, if you don't even want to deal with the potential nonsense of rip and ships, I think you'll be better off for it. Did you know that you can still actually just buy singles on WhatNot? This is something that I've never understood. People online talk as if WhatNot is all rip and ships, and it's definitely not. I honestly don't even think this type of content makes up half of the app. And I could probably count on one hand the amount of times I've even bought into a box break on WhatNot, and most of them were actually for Star Wars cards. Personally, I've been buying singles on WhatNot for over 2 years now, just like the ones you've been seeing here, and I've not run into any major issues or have been scammed. Yes, over the years I've seen the scummy practices of some of these rip and shippers, but I just don't give them my money, and you don't have to either. But again, people are voting with their wallet, so there is a reason why rip and ships are so popular. But like I said, I stick with buying singles on there, and I've been sharing my pickups from WhatNot as well as my referral link over the last several years on the channel because I personally get a lot of value out of the platform. I find a lot of Pokemon cards at a discount, like this Shadowless Blastoise, which I bought for only $106. And if you want to do the same, you're more than welcome to use my affiliate link to get $15 off of your purchase on WhatNot. I get it, some people don't like that I talk about WhatNot on my channel, but again, it's because I'm an actual user of it. The moment that I stop getting value out of it myself is the moment I'll stop mentioning it in my videos. But that's totally okay if you decide it's not for you. You also get to vote with your wallet and not spend your money there. That's totally fine. So is WhatNot a scam? Well, no. They're an online marketplace. They've had a few bad apples, but mostly there are a lot of good sellers on there. So as long as they continue to make it a safe place to buy and sell, I personally think it's a really cool platform. But I'd be curious to know what you think. Please let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to support the channel. I think you may enjoy one of these videos here on screen next. And lastly, I want to let you know that no matter what you're going through, you are not alone. God is with you and He loves you, and we do too. I'll catch you next time.